If you still have doubts about what Spiritism truly is, stay with me. In this video, I'm going to explain, in a simple and objective way, what this doctrine is really about, why it exists, and how it can transform lives. Yeah there, young Spiritist, or maybe you're just curious about this topic. Either way, welcome. This is the very first content video on the channel, and there's no better way to start than by clarifying the fundamental question, what is Spiritism? For many people, this question seems mysterious, surrounded by myths or even prejudice. Some think it's a religion full of rituals, others confuse it with occult practices. But the truth is much simpler. Spiritism follows natural and universal laws that explain life, death, and the purpose of our existence. And most importantly, the focus of Spiritism is love, the same love Jesus taught us more than 2,000 years ago. How did Spiritism begin? Spiritism, as a structured doctrine, officially began on April 1, 1857, with the publication of the first edition of the Spirit's book by Allan Kardec in France. But who was Kardec? He wasn't a mystic or a religious leader. He was a respected educator, scientist, and researcher named Hippolyte Léon Denisard Rivel. At the time, Europe was fascinated by mysterious phenomena like table-turning and spontaneous messages from invisible entities. Kardec, with a rational and investigative mind, decided to study these phenomena using scientific methods, observing, questioning, analyzing, and comparing answers given by various mediums in different countries. After years of careful research, he compiled the teachings that came from higher spirits and codified Spiritism into a coherent body of knowledge. What is Spiritism based on? Spiritism is founded on the moral laws taught by Christ, making it a Christian doctrine in its essence. Kardec codified this knowledge into what we call the Spiritist Pentateuch, a collection of 5 fundamental works. The Spirit's book, the foundation of Spiritist philosophy, explaining the nature of spirits, the purpose of life, and the moral laws that govern the universe. The Medium's book, a guide to understanding and practicing mediumship in a safe and serious way. The Gospel according to Spiritism, moral lessons from Christ, interpreted through the light of Spiritism. Heaven and Hell, reflections on the afterlife, justice, and the fate of souls. Genesis, discussions on the origin of the universe, miracles, and the relationship between science and faith. Besides these works, there are also the Spiritist magazines published by Kardec until his death, and a vast literature that followed, written or psychographed by authors like Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, André Luiz, Emmanuel, Joanna de Angelis, and many others who expanded the doctrine with deeper teachings. Is Spiritism a religion? Here is a key point. Spiritism is not just a religion in the traditional sense. It is a doctrine based on 3 inseparable aspects. Science, because it studies spiritual phenomena with observation, analysis, and logical reasoning. Philosophy, because it seeks to answer the great questions of existence. Who are we? Where did we come from? Why do we suffer? Where are we going after death? Religion, because it guides our moral and spiritual evolution, reconnecting humanity with God through love and charity. So, Spiritism is a complete doctrine, scientific in method, philosophical in depth, and spiritual in purpose. What does Spiritism study? Among many topics, Spiritism explores reincarnation, the natural law that allows us to evolve through multiple lives. Mediumship, the interaction between the physical and spiritual worlds. The moral and natural laws that govern the universe. The plurality of inhabited worlds, the idea that Earth is not the only planet with intelligent life. The existence of spiritual colonies, like the famous Nasolar, our home, described by André Luiz. But it's very important to highlight something. Spiritism is not about seeking phenomena for entertainment or curiosity. Mediumistic manifestations, such as communications with spirits, are just tools for greater understanding. The true goal of Spiritism is self-knowledge, moral improvement, and spiritual growth. As the great speaker Divaldo Franco says, Spiritism does not come to perform miracles or offer privileges. It comes to enlighten consciences, liberate us from ignorance, and help us transform our negative tendencies. In summary, Spiritism is a doctrine of love, knowledge, and hope. It teaches that life continues beyond the grave, that we are immortal spirits on a journey of learning, and that our destiny is to evolve toward goodness and harmony. It doesn't impose blind faith. Instead, it invites us to use reason, free will, and critical thinking to understand the spiritual reality. It teaches that faith must be logical, in harmony with science and reason. So, if you want a clearer vision of life, death, and the spiritual world, Spiritism is an open door to reflection and renewal. If this explanation helped you, leave a comment. Do you still have questions? Write them below, and we can make a new video to answer them. And if you know someone curious about Spiritism, share this video. It might bring comfort and clarity to someone who needs it.